work experience. I mean, what is it? I mean, or 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 why is it even important to have it? Isn't it just a job? Isn't it just a paid job? Or how is it different from just being a paid job?
Okay. Well, I think the whole report I was showing was answering this particular question, that your experience during your study years is crucial to your success with a future career. And I don't want to repeat myself because, for me, it's obvious. And I think for pretty much any young person out there, it's also quite obvious that, if you're studying something and if you haven't tried it in real life experience, you will definitely struggle to find a good job straight out of the university. So the more options you explore, the better for you. And also, we've just seen the employer responses that your experience and your real gained skills are crucial. Now, one thing I'd like to mention, which I think is fantastic from the British government support, is this I don't know, a project or initiative that they've started, which is called Kickstart. So Kickstart campaign has been organized by the British government to support young professionals who are leaving the universities and are struggling to find a job, and also to support smaller businesses and entrepreneurs who might not have money to pay salary to those young professionals. So if you are with Universal Credit, you can go to the, actually there's probably another page I should have shared, but I can share it now in the chat for all of us. So on gov.uk, or just Google Kickstart Scheme, and from this page you will be able to find whether you qualify or not, what are the requirements. So overall, okay, I've added it to the chat, so please go and check. It's a scheme that pays to the employers in order for them to hire young professionals from 16 to 24 years old for up to 6 months jobs. And this is, I think, a fantastic opportunity to try different activities, to make some money, which is always important, but also to try and find something that is truly yours, because there is nothing worse in your life than, getting a degree, working in a company following your degree, and then discovering when you turn 35 that in fact, instead of being an accountant, you've always dreamt of being a chef. And it's only at, during the midlife crisis, when you give yourself a liberty, give yourself a chance to actually do something that you feel passionate about, rather than just continue doing some boring work in the office. Nothing against boring work in the offices, it can also be exciting, but I'm just saying about trying to find your true passion and taking the risk to pursue it.
And
uh,
I've got another question, if that's okay to answer it.
well, everybody else is
Have they
keeping
got any?
quiet, so I guess it is.
Okay, so I know that definitely in our little group here, there's a couple people who very passionate about work experience, but whether it's COVID-19 or lots of other reasons, are just really struggling at the moment. And it's you've mentioned the Kickstarter scheme, so I don't know if anybody had known about the Kickstarter scheme, but okay, we had a 2008 crash, which is kind of the same thing. But what would you say to students who have heard you today and say, okay, I get it, work experience is important. How do I get it now? Any?
You have to be very proactive. Obviously, sitting on your bum flat doesn't help, and nobody is going to come to you and bring it to you. So first of all, talk to your universities, because well, maybe I'm an optimist, but in my experience, most of the universities have contacts with their employers. Quite often, these are contacts with their own alumni. And if you chase your career office persistently enough, they will either offer you some of the projects to choose from, or, and this is something that should be initiated by you guys, is you can do your own research. Go on LinkedIn, run a search on based on the keywords that are relevant for you, whether it will be your job or whether it's a sector that you want to explore and you haven't tried it yet. Try to find alums of your university who work in this particular sector or who work in this particular company, and engage with them and be honest. Say, I'm studying at XYZ program, I would love to gain some experience, and I would say up until you've gained some experience, you don't really have huge negotiation power, so you might have to agree to some unpaid projects. Just make sure you don't agree to like 1 year of unpaid work. This doesn't make sense. But I would say allow yourself 1 to maybe 3 months free project, so like apprenticeship, where you're not being paid, but you are learning from working on the tasks that are given to you, and you are gaining an experience that later on you will be able to add to your CV. Now, also, actually, one important thing to mention before you do that, before you approach your fellow alumni or someone else, make sure that your LinkedIn profile is up to scratch. This is very important because if you don't have anything decent in your profile, nobody will actually take you seriously. And that's something very important to bear in mind, because LinkedIn is becoming more and more powerful these days. Now, there are also things like, I'm just looking for my LinkedIn inbox. Yes. So one of the things that works really well is, if you know this sector you want to explore, it's relatively easy to identify, say, top 20, top 50 companies that you'd be interested in. So go to their career section, and even if there is nothing there, don't be shy. Send your CV with a powerful email to the HR saying, hey, I'm such and such, I'm passionate about whatever it is you guys doing, and I'd love to see if you might have any apprenticeships or any projects I can contribute to that can help me explore your activities. Like, one of the examples I'll share with you now also is a company called Relay2. It's a company that has been set up by Stanford alumnus, and it helps convert all these, rather heavy and ugly PDFs into web pages. And it's a good friend of mine who runs it, and we were just recently discussing with him the possibility of promoting his jobs among the QS World Merit community. And QS World Merit is a charity that I coordinate within my role, which brings together people around the world who care about sustainable development goals and who would love to not just, support them by clicking on something, but also who are proactive and deliver different activities, different projects that impact their local and international communities. So, and my role here is to bring them those experiences. And this link I've just shared with you is one of the examples of open jobs that are out there. It's a mix of top and entry levels, and you can always apply for the ones which are relevant to your skills or background. And also, as I said, don't be shy and email direct emails to HRs. I don't know, Rox, does it cover your question?
That's fantastic. I wonder, are there any opportunities that QS World Merit has that you might want to tell the students about, or might have in the future? Or I don't know if you guys do scholarship. I don't know. You can tell us about.
That's thanks for the hint. Yeah, I don't know whether it's relevant to this audience, because my understanding was that those are young professionals who are already through the universities. But indeed, QS World Merit offer scholarships, and that's something. So maybe just a little bit, let's rewind, a bit of a background. So World Merit is a charity that has been running for quite a while. And also QS has been running a scholarship trust since 2003. And this year, World Merit came to QS asking for some, support and mutual help. So we've decided to take it under wing, and that's how QS World Merit, the new charity with some, background from both World Merit and QS Scholarship Trust, appeared. Now, when it comes down to scholarship, QS on its own is covering a fund. I think now it's around $7 million or something like that. But it's mainly the scholarships that we bring together from the universities who participate in our events. We run over 300 student events around the world per year, where we kind of bring together universities and students to help them identify the right programs they offer. And there are some scholarships that we donate. It's about 50,000, I think, per year. And then there are also scholarships that our partner universities donate. Now, in the next, where are we, 25th September. So in the next 2 weeks, this part of our website will be revamped completely. But what I can say now, that probably one of the scholarships that might be interesting for those who are already at the universities, or maybe those who have already received their degree, is the scholarship we're going to be running with Wharton Interactive. So Wharton is one of the top American universities, and Wharton Interactive is a part of their kind of Wharton universe, which is a gamification. Literally, it educates you about things like leadership, entrepreneurship, innovation, teamwork, etc., in a virtual game format. So in December, there will be a course which will be, well, not will, it is created purely for the QS World Merit applicants. So we will be giving away 10 free places at this course, and everybody is welcome to apply. Those who have applied but were not the lucky 10 will get 30% discount off this course. It's not like, you can't join this course before that, but if there is a chance to get some education for free, why not use it? And Rox, answering your original question about the opportunities that QS World Merit will be offering, as I said, it's a new merge, so we're still establishing ourselves, but I hope that by November, we will have a proper portfolio of opportunities with employers, with universities, to offer to our community. And the awards that we're offering come in 4 main categories. One is access to knowledge, and that's exactly where Wharton comes on board, or Coursera comes on board, so free education. Second is resources. So we encourage universities to collaborate with the QS World Merit charity, and in case one of the community members comes and says, I need access to, I don't know, your library or your 3D print or something like that, the university will give access to these resources to our community member. The third category is finance. Obviously, if you're a young entrepreneur or if you're a student who wants to set up a project, you might need some financial support. And this is the most difficult one for me, I must say, because raising money from employees is never easy. And the fourth one, so knowledge, resources, financial support, and experiences. And experiences is exactly what we've been discussing earlier today, which is internships, projects, and other activities with employers. So watch the space. Rox?
That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know how fantastic it is. I think mainly it's common sense, but thank you. You're very kind.
No, it's a struggle at the moment. I'm sure if Zach or Genevieve or Mars wanted to unmute themselves, they could tell you their personal stories of struggling to actually
Finding job.
get into some work experience, the next step. So it's always quite exciting to to learn about people like you and companies like you who have opportunities available for us students. It seems like it's almost like gold dust at the moment. Not too many around.
It is very tricky at the moment. You're absolutely right. And many companies have been hit really hard by the whole pandemic situation. Many companies are not that open when it comes down to flexi working hours or short-term projects. But as I said, quite often you need to encourage HRs to say yes. So in the chat, I've shared another link, and these are the jobs within QS that we have open at the moment. Most of them are full-time, but as I've mentioned, QS is a company that has been built by young people. When I joined QS, I think I was like within the first 50 employees or something. And throughout the years, we've been working very closely with ISEC. So if any of you are familiar with the student community, then that's you'll know what I'm talking about. And we had on average between, I'd say, 3 to 10 ISEC people joining QS on different projects. And on average, 2 of those will stick. So we'll offer them full-time employment after their internship or project has been finished. So at the moment, probably, well, the company is very big now. So, okay, I'd better not throw any numbers because we have so many offices, I don't even know all of them. But for the London office, I'd say it will be fair probably to assume that at least maybe between 15 and 20% of our full-time employees are the ones who came to us either as interns or as a temporary contributors to some projects. So again, review the opportunities and don't be shy to offer your services, even if the job requires full-time involvement. You can say, listen, I'm happy to contribute my time for whatever 50% of the compensation just for the sake of getting experience. And that's something that might work well with the HR team. Right, we've got, I think,
Thank you.
five
That's
minutes left. Yeah?
amazing. I've never had that advice from anybody. I wish I'd known you 2 years and 3 years ago. That's brilliant.
Well, you've done great so far. So
no, so thank you. That's really useful to know. I've written that one down. We've got a couple.
Can I make one more suggestion, if I may?
Of course, definitely, please.
The world is going digital, so I think we're all here and we all know it, right? One thing that is being underestimated or maybe not even communicated to young professionals is that from the moment you get to the university, you have to start building your online portfolio. So your personal brand. It is very important because that's how you will be assessed, whether you want it or not. You will be assessed by employers. You will be assessed by potential clients. You will be assessed by, I don't know, journalists. And if you want to be someone who is in demand, who people look up to, if you want to become an expert in a particular field, and I'm not talking about, 1 year scale, I'm talking 3 to 5 year horizons, you have to be proactive. And I'm not talking about, tweeting 27 times a day. I mean, if you have time for this and if you have things to say, smart things to say, be my guest. But I'm talking about things like, as I've mentioned, LinkedIn profile, contributing to the articles. Quite often you can find requests from the journalists looking for different quotes and comments for the students, and it can be Quora, it can be any other platform. Don't be shy to share your opinion, because unless you establish yourself as someone who is out there, proactive, smart, or intelligent, probably better than smart, and open, people won't know about you. If you write, doesn't matter whether it's in English or any other language, produce content and promote content, because building your own personal brand is important whatever you guys are doing going forward after the university. Online recognition, unfortunately or unfortunately, but it is becoming more and more important for young professionals, especially if you're into some creative jobs. That goes without saying then. But even for more kind of traditional jobs like finance or consulting or engineering, you still need to be out there and visible. LinkedIn has quite a few free courses. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with LinkedIn, but LinkedIn Learning is pretty cool. So you can find lots of interesting courses free. And when you take the course with LinkedIn, it is automatically added to your CV, to your profile on LinkedIn. So it tells future employers that you are proactive, that you develop, and that you, as I said, you don't sit and wait, but you go out there and create opportunities for yourself.